Council. How are you?
Good evening.
Good evening.
New Year.
Happy New Year.
Mr. Hughes, and certainly to you, Ms. Carrera. Council, I have a prepared statement. Unfortunately, I couldn't narrow this down to less than 5 minutes. It's just a tad over, if I may impose upon your patience. Thank you. For reasons that will become clearer a little later, I'd first like to share with you that I'm extensively educated on the constitutional provisions of the First Amendment. At all times when I appear here, my words will be privileged. In a constitutional context, that means they will be truthful, therefore permitted. I will also share with you that I've already successfully sued the Office of the District Attorney and the Pennsylvania State Police and Federal Court on a previous violation to my rights to free speech. So I'm familiar with this territory, and as you might sense at the moment, I take free speech very seriously. I am a lifelong resident of this city, but for the last 6 years I've been a dedicated advocate for free speech as well as a political activist, aggressive in the pursuit of exposing corruption and driving corrupt politicians out of office, some of whom used to sit exactly where you're sitting right now, as a matter of fact. I am the creator of and the administrator for DohertyDeceit.com, a politically charged and controversial website that has probably exposed more corruption in this area in the last 6 years than all other media combined has exposed over the last 50 years, which is why corruption here has flourished and why it confidently adopted such an arrogant and cavalier persona and catch me if you can, one finger salute attitude to the people. It's been my political experience that the entire community best benefits when corruption is exposed, not only by naming the public officials involved, but by exposing precisely how they pulled off their corrupt deeds. Being in the business of investigating and exposing corruption, one discovers quickly that corruption pays huge dividends. One also discovers that corruption is a multitasking team sport. One also, I'm sorry, I already said that. The team sport requires 3 elements. Someone has to plan the corruption, someone has to perform the corruption, and 3, most importantly, it requires considerable assurance that will fly under the radar undetected. It's the 3rd element, the radar, or to put it another way, our judicial system that brings me here this evening. Regarding municipal-related legal actions, our judicial system in Lackawanna County has a broken moral compass and a fractured ethical backbone. Dignity and integrity are no longer staples of due process in this county. They've been vanquished. Under the black robe now are weak men, reachable, water boys and puppets of the political machine, disabling the wheels of justice to the benefit of corrupt, arrogant, and greedy politicians like Christopher A. Doherty. It's time for that disturbing betrayal of duty to come to an end. The old saying that you can't fight City Hall doesn't apply to this city anymore. The supermajority sitting here now is proof that you can fight City Hall and you can do it successfully. Fighting corruption at the courthouse can be accomplished the same way corruption was fought at City Hall, through free speech. The fight against our corruption, fight against our corrupt courthouse, will begin here. Using my constitutional rights to free speech, I will fire the first shot here and right now. For the benefit of all residents of this city, from this public forum, I'm going to expose in explicit, factual detail how corrupt the Lackawanna County Courthouse is, at least regarding city-related actions, which will include naming the corrupt judges, many corrupt lawyers, and I'm also going to expose precisely how corrupt the system works from the Lackawanna County Court of Common Pleas to the Commonwealth Court in Harrisburg. As you might suspect, this exposure will take a long time. So beginning next week, you can expect to hear from me for many months on end until I am done, or until I get shot, whichever comes first, one never knows. These explicit facts will come from court documents gathered from actual court cases. I will always have these documents with me to back up what I'm saying. A copy will always be available upon request in advance if you'd like. I am privileged to these documents because I am the plaintiff in all of them, because I've sued the city many, many times. So basically, I'm going to be sharing my experience with you and the viewing public. It's fascinating information, but it's also very disturbing because we have dirty judges who conspire with dirty lawyers and dirty politicians to violate public trust and obscure justice to the harm of the people of the city of Scranton. We also have corrupt county employees in the courthouse who assist in this corruption, all of whom will be exposed. I will be happy to answer any questions council or anyone else has at the conclusion of any of these presentations. That being said, thank you very much for your attention, and I shall see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.